Come on in.
Oh, it is stunning.
Oh, isn't it?
What a privilege to be here and see all those butterflies. And how many different butterfly species do you have here?
So we have roughly about 8 to 10 native butterfly species. So we released about 500 live butterflies the day before we opened for the Flower and Garden Festival. And then we have these chrysalis boards that have these different native Florida butterflies here. So we continually have butterflies hatching throughout the length of the Flower and Garden Festival.
So I imagine that if I go to the ending of the Flower and Garden, I would have many more butterflies than it started with.
Yes, you're gonna definitely see more butterflies in here, because then we also provide enough plant material in here to have the whole life cycle of the butterfly take place during the length of the festival. So we have some like free butterflies, I call them.
I see the signage here, and I have to ask you, because I am inspired to try to have something like this, but I live in a house. Can I have something like this on a backyard on a smaller scale?
Absolutely. You can have a butterfly garden no matter what size of garden you have. And this sign gives you all the best tips on how to create your own butterfly garden in your whatever growing space that you might have. So you just need to make sure to have a sunny spot, and make sure your garden can be as small as a small window box, or a few containers on a patio garden or a balcony.
Okay, that's perfect. So it looks, it's good for homes and also apartments.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Now you're just going to need to have a couple different types of plants in there. You want to make sure to have some adult nectar plants, so something that's going to keep your adult butterflies in your gardens, because they need to have some nectar to eat, to utilize and eat and keep them healthy. And then you want to have some host plants, or I like to call them larval plants. And they are what once your butterflies have laid some eggs, and then the caterpillars emerge, that is what they're going to eat and make, eat until they become a chrysalis. And then adult butterflies are going to want to have a little bit of water, so you're going to have some sort of water source. So anything from just a small dish with some rocks in it so that the butterflies have a place to stand. And then you want to look for native plant material. So you're going to do a little bit of research and look for native plants and look for local nurseries that you can buy the native plants from. And you just want to make sure to avoid plants that might have pesticides on them, so that both your adults and your caterpillars stay nice and healthy.
Okay, perfect.
So I want to show you some fun things in our garden right now. So these are a plant called Cleome, and they are butterfly, the great southern white, which here's one right here, and she may be actually getting ready to lay some eggs. They love these plant material, so you'll actually see some of our caterpillars here. So if we take a deep dive in here.
Oh, I see it. It's right here. She's actually had little head up, right? Like right here.
I think that one just is. Oh yeah, you did find one. Yep. There's a little caterpillar right there. Some healthier guys down below that are just chomping away.
So all this, the caterpillars were eating?
Yes, they're all eating. They're all just eating. So they get big enough that they're just going to move off the plant, and then they're going to make their chrysalis, and then eventually they're going to emerge into their new butterfly form, or their new adult form. There's actually some eggs on one of our Cleomes over here. So you'll see some of our eggs right here.
I never seen it. I never seen eggs.
Yeah, so eggs can be found, butterfly eggs will be found sometimes on the tops of leaves, most likely on the bottom of the leaf, so that they're more protected.
This is amazing, and how easy it will be for me. I have to admit, I do not have a green thumb. So how easy it would be for me to have something like, well, not like this, but something on a smaller scale. Can I have an easy way to have a butterfly garden?
Absolutely. You may have to do maybe a little research on how to take care of the plants. Your nectar plant material is really there for those flowers. So you're probably not going to do much with them other than when the flowers maybe get a little bit spent, you may need to cut those dead flowers off so that you have the opportunity to grow some new flowers for the butterflies. So
okay,
a lot
that's
of the
simple.
Bigger shrubs that we have here are those nectar butterfly material. So these are some of our jatropha. So the butterflies love the nectar off of the flowers that you see on these plants. So when they get a little bit taller, we just may have to give them a little bit of a cut down.
Okay.
But the host plants, or the plants that you need to have for your caterpillars, That's a little bit of a different story. You have to be prepared to have those plants not look really great in your garden, but because those caterpillars are going to be eating away at them.
Okay.
So I recommend having some extras of those in your garden. So you may have some or sitting like maybe away from your garden. So you'll have some in the garden for your caterpillars to munch on and to eat them up. And then when there's no more leaves left, you may want to keep them in a container. And then you can take them out of the garden and let new foliage emerge, and then just replace it with another plant. So you just may have to be transitioning those in and out.
Okay, but that's simple enough.
It's very simple.
Okay, so I am inspired now to create my very own butterfly garden, and I cannot wait to get started. But then comes the problem. When is the best time to get started?
I would say right now in Florida, this is the best time.
Okay.
So as we're in spring and we're going into summer, all of those native plant material that you'll want to encourage those native butterflies here, they're just coming out of their dormancy period, so they're starting to grow and flower and do all the things that you want them to do, and they'll be a little easier to find at your local nurseries.
This was such a treat, Allie, so thank you so much for having me here.
You are absolutely welcome. I enjoy showing off our beautiful butterfly garden to anyone.
And the butterfly garden will stay here until the end of the festival, which is in July. So there's time for people to visit
Plenty
as well.
of time to come and visit and check out the butterfly garden all the way up to July 5th.
Perfect.